If you only ever read one self-help book in your whole life, please let it be this one. Today we're going to be talking about Laziness Does Not Exist. It is a book by Devon Price. This book has genuinely changed my life, and I'm going to be sharing some of my Goodreads highlights. So yeah, sit back, relax, grab yourself a cup of tea, quick mug appreciation. I love this mug. I've had this mug since I was like 17, I want to say, and I'm still obsessed with it. It's me. I'm going to be talking about the book Laziness Does Not Exist. It's by an author called Devon Price, who is a social psychologist. And how to sum up this book? Basically, it is anti-capitalist literature. It is self-help. It's sociology. It's a bit of all of the above. It's got a bit of everything. I was urged to read this book because I had gone through a period of my life where I was feeling extremely burned out. So yeah, I was urged to read this book, and I'm so glad that I did. I think this is a great book to read if you struggle to prioritise rest, if you struggle to set boundaries, if you're a bit of a workaholic, or even if you do all those things. So you do set boundaries, you do prioritise rest, but you then feel guilty for it, or feel like you should be doing something else, or feel like your self-worth is decreasing because you're not being productive. This book is definitely for you. Now listen, it's 2023, we are in late stage capitalism, and it is definitely internalised into 99% of us, if not 100% of the population. We equate our self-worth to our level of productivity, and we are told to do that. We are taught to do that in school, in the workplace, probably by our parents as well. And that is so damaging to us as human beings. We're human beings, not human doings. I don't know where I saw that, but it really struck a chord with me, because we're not here to constantly be productive or constantly be pushing ourselves to our absolute limits to please other people or to reach these like heights of success that we've told ourselves that we have to reach. We're here to experience the richness of life, to have as many enriching and awe-inspiring experiences as we can, and that's my personal opinion. Why else are we here? You know what I mean? We're not just here to pay bills and die. Like that just can't be it. So yeah, this book really dives into the problem in our society that we have with this term laziness specifically, because if you think about the word lazy, if you describe someone as lazy, that's almost like the worst insult that you could give a person these days. Like there's so much judgment and stigma attached to the word lazy, and what this author does is really unpacks that and like gets to the root of where that comes from. And where it basically comes from is we have this innate fear of being worthless, of being not deemed a worthwhile member of society, and it actually really stigmatizes and criminalizes margins of our society. So people that are unhoused, people that are unemployed, etc. It really like puts them into this category where we just decide that they're lazy, that they're worthless, because if they really wanted to, they could have created a better life for themselves. If they really wanted to, they could have pushed out of this poverty or these bad situations that they find themselves in. But obviously they've not done that because they're just lazy. That part of the book I found really interesting, because I have honestly always had a fear of being called lazy. Like I really used to pride myself on being a super productive, on the ball person, and like I would feel really good about myself when I was being really productive. Also, side note, I'm sorry if I sound really congested. It's because I am. I've just had the cold, so I apologise. But yeah, anyway, getting back to my point, I would pride myself on being productive, and if I had a day where I felt like I was really unproductive or lazy, I would honestly feel so guilty. And I would feel so bad about it. Even in like my rest time, I felt like I should be doing something. And that is still something I'm trying to unlearn. What this book really focuses on is the idea that rest should be completely restful. Hi, Muka. When you rest, proper, true, like deep rest should be a mind, body and soul experience. So you might think that coming home and switching on the TV and scrolling on your phone is resting, but it's actually not, because you're still bombarding your brain with all this information. So while your body might be like lying on a couch or bed resting, your brain is still active and your nervous system is still activated because you're consuming all this information. So that's actually not good rest. Good rest should be something that feels good for your mind, body and soul. My main takeaway from this book was not only learning to set boundaries and be clear on boundaries and be strict about them, but also when you do set those boundaries and when you do set aside time to rest, that it is proper rest and that you don't feel guilty for it. Because that is one thing for me, is I would set aside time to rest and my self-care time, but in the back of my mind I'd be like, oh, I could be doing this, or maybe I should be doing this, or okay, I really need to, like, I don't know, get up earlier tomorrow to do this. And that's not proper rest. That's me feeling like I have to justify why I need downtime. We all, no matter who we are in this world, in this life, deserve rest. We deserve downtime. And in fact, it's absolutely essential. And that brings me to one of my first goodreads highlights that I've got. In this section of the book, he was talking about how rest is actually really, really beneficial for us. So this highlight says, psychologists who study creativity are often very interested in these big aha moments and have put a lot of effort into studying what a person can do to promote them. It turns out that laziness is one of the most effective steps to getting there. So basically what that's saying is, if you are trying to be creative, you're trying to problem solve, you're trying to come up with a good idea, literally stop thinking about it, put your book away, put your laptop away, put your phone away, step back and just like rest. Do something else. Read a book, meditate, go for a walk, go for a swim, be in nature, sleep, go for a nap. Because that is when our good ideas come. We can't force good ideas and inspiration. That's not how it works. You can't force creativity. You have to sit back and observe and find a place of stillness, and that's when you'll find all your good ideas come to you. And that's why you hear like a lot of people say like, oh, all my good ideas come to me when I'm in the shower or I'm in the bath or whatever, or I'm out a walk, because they're not actively trying to think of good ideas. They're doing something else, and their mind is able to sort of calm down all that chatter and actually come up with a good idea. It then goes on to say that Lin-Manuel Miranda, the writer and star of the musical Hamilton, famously came up with the concept for the show whilst reading a history book on vacation with his wife. He didn't go on vacation hoping to come up with the concept for a new musical. He was just trying to find a way to relax after 7 non-stop years of performing in the show in the Heights. Yet the moment he had time to truly recharge, he arrived at a creative breakthrough that changed his life forever. So if that is not an incentive to rest, I honestly don't know what is. As I said, this book is very anti-capitalist and it talks a lot about the problems of our modern day workplace. So this is another highlight on my Goodreads, and it says, the typical workday is structured around the expectation that a person should be able to sit down and churn out results for 8 hours or more, despite overwhelming evidence that this is unrealistic. So basically just what I've said previously, we are not machines. We are not meant to sit down at a laptop and just churn out work and be productive. That is just not how we're programmed, not how we work. And through lockdown, I think this is why actually this brought me to read this book, because it became even harder to switch off because you're working from home. People are constantly expecting you to be available, and those barriers that maybe were typically up in the modern workplace suddenly weren't really there because everyone was at home. So it was this expectation that, well, you're not doing anything anyway, you're just stuck in the house. So like, why can't you answer my call? Why can't you get back to my email? There's this constant pressure and expectation of us to be available, which really, really affected me personally. So yeah, it talks a lot about the problems of the modern workplace. It talks a lot about burnout, and how detrimental burnout can be. And as someone that has suffered from burnout, it is a really bad place to get to. So this is another one of my highlights. It says, when we burn out, we stop being able to feel our emotions as intensely and may even experience pain and hunger less strongly, making it even harder to remember to be kind to ourselves. In addition, burned out people also have a reduced ability to recognise emotions in other people, which means that they can't connect as readily with their family and friends. And this worsens their social isolation. So yeah, lockdown and burnout is a recipe for disaster. So I think we honestly did I think a lot of us struggled with that. So if you are someone that has suffered with burnout, I would highly recommend reading this book, because I feel like it healed parts of me and definitely validated me. So yeah, I honestly have so many highlights and I could sit here all day reading them, but I'm not going to do that. I think by now, if I haven't convinced you to read the book, then I'm not going to be able to. But yeah, I think if you're someone that struggles with work-life balance, if you don't want to feel guilty for rest anymore, if you want a reason to just do nothing, then definitely read this book. So I just want to finish this video off with one more little highlight from Goodreads, and that is the remedy remedy for all of this is boundless compassion. This is one theme that really stuck out to me in this book, and that is all about being compassionate to yourself and being kind to yourself no matter what, especially when you do need to rest. For example, I used to be really hard on myself if I had overslept. I'd get really frustrated, really angry, feel like I had to catch up for the rest of the day, just be beating myself up about it. But now, that actually just happened the other day. I overslept by like an hour and a half, and I was just like, okay, that's fine. Your body obviously needed that rest. You needed that time to sleep and recharge, and that's okay. And I was not angry at myself for it. I was just like, right, we'll do what we can today and everything will get done. We have enough time. It's fine, can deal with this. And so I think that has been the biggest way that has changed my life, because I'm so much more compassionate to myself and others. Because I'm showing that kindness and love and compassion to myself, I'm also able to extend that to others and not get as frustrated if someone needs more time to like complete a task, if someone doesn't reply to me straight away. Like I can understand that people need time to process, digest, rest, relax, they're busy, whatever. So I think that's a really good quote. The remedy for all of this is boundless compassion. Like that, yeah, that really just sums it up. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. It wasn't really a review so much as just me gushing about how much I love this book. But I think if you are a bit of a workaholic, if you struggle with work-life balance, if you really, really link your self-worth to your productivity, if you feel guilty when you try to rest, then definitely read Laziness Does Not Exist by Devon Price. And yeah, go take a nap, go relax. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.